Welcome back. Leeds 1, Spurs 2. Craig, how we doing, mate?
Yeah.
I mean, you can take the positive. Again, this is going to try and be as positive as we can in this. Despite losing, I thought we played absolutely brilliant. Don't forget to smash the likes, follow us, subscribe wherever you're listening, watching us. But yeah, Craig, let's just get straight into it. Obviously, they take the lead. Deflection, first deflection of the game.
Yeah, play it well because I thought we had a bright start and um, we had a couple of good chances, and then again not taking the chances like we keep saying in recent games. But at this level, you can't afford to miss them. But yeah, it gets to that point, and then they get a look at like a breakaway, and the shot just a deflection. One thing what frustrates me about Strike is he stands off for so long without making a challenge. He just backs off, and then goes for like to try and block a shot. Or the way that he defends, it's like rather than try to get the ball, he just tries to block the shot all the time. And yeah, fell foul again of another deflection, which unfortunately beat Darlow at his near post. But
Yeah, I mean, we'll touch a bit more on Stroke later on, but it was, like you say, it was completely against the run of play. I mean, we'd already hit the woodwork at that point. We'd already had 8 shots to their 4 before that goal. I mean, looked really, really well. And then, like you said, Longstaff missed or a heavy touch on it, went straight to their player. They counter attacked. Stroke stood off him and it's then in the back of the net. But we called it back in. Aronson with a beautiful cross. Sorry, Bogle with a beautiful cross. Aronson with a shot that was saved. And then Okafor the back post. I mean, what did you think of all of that?
yeah, it were again. These are the positive signs that I see from us. Like we've gone 1-0 behind again, and we're pulling it back. And this time it were against arguably better opposition. And we're pulling it back. Like we're not dropping our heads and just crawling into a shell. So for me, it shows good signs that we can compete. And I know it's Championship and Premier League different ball game, but from the last 2 seasons of watching Farke's teams, these are where like mistakes get ironed out towards the second half of the season, and the team will become better. What we've got to realise as well is we've signed 10 players. Like it's more or less a new team and a new way of playing, and this has got to bed in. Like once this is bedded in, I think we can only get better from where we are. And the fact that we're only like 7 games into the season and we're playing as well as what we're doing, it gives me a lot of confidence and hope that we're in a good place.
Yeah, I mean, I had to correct myself a minute because I did make an error. We had 4 shots each. After they scored, we then had 4 shots. That was my fault on the 8 and 4. But like I said last week, if you don't finish your chances and you don't score, obviously at this level, especially when you're in the Premier League, you're gonna get undone. And I think that's going to be the story for a lot of it. We're showing that we can compete, especially defensively, which last time we were in the Prem, we did struggle with massively. And Farker's only going to learn. He's learned from the last 2 seasons at Leeds in the Championship what needs to be changed. I think he changed this season in terms of going to a 4-3-3 instead of 4-2-3-1, which has made us much more combative in the midfield and not necessarily dominate games, but control it to a certain extent. I mean, what are the stats that you sent me and how dominating we were?
Yeah, I mean, even Farke himself said today that he thought we dominated that game. Like in every context of it, we dominated. It's just the result that we didn't get, and that's down to the finishing, and those little lapses in defence at that time. Like you said, that we're better defensively, but those little mistakes keep creeping in, and we've seen them for the last couple of seasons where, and I do think as much as good as what Strike is, in certain situations, I do think we need a change because like everybody said last season that Ampadu were better. We looked better when Ampadu were at the back when Strike was out.
Yeah, especially you and me.
Yeah. So I think the wider fan base like agreed with a lot of that as well. That we looked better when Ampadu was playing at the back, but I think that's down to some of the like silly mistakes that Strike makes, like standing off attackers, sorry, and the wayward passes that he makes sometimes. It's I'd like to see Biol come in, and I know that I'm not saying Strike's done anything majorly wrong. It's just I'd like to see a more experienced defender, like an international defender like Biol, that might go in and put a tackle in because he does like a challenge, doesn't he? From all accounts, so it's putting someone like him in might stop them attacks. Like that first shot might not have got off, um, and things like that. So it might make it a little bit more solid, but only time will tell. And I think we will get better. I can only see us getting better. Like there were a few performances today that stood out that have progressed from previous games.
Yeah, I mean, you touched upon Pascal a couple of times then standing off. Let's just talk about their second goal before we digress more into the game. So, long ball over, hits Goodmanson, Kudus gets it. I mean, I've seen online saying you don't let the ball bounce. The ball didn't bounce. It came off him. It was straight ball, long ball over. Just unlucky how it came off. I think he was a bit too soft, Goodmanson, in getting up to try and tackle. But then Pascal just stood off, didn't even make a tackle. Like you say, he just goes to block the ball and it hits his calf and goes in. I mean, it is frustrating when you see a defender not making tackles.
Yeah, and
Like,
I mean, if he blocks that, it's a good block. It looks good, but he's not putting the striker under pressure at all. I mean, the the mistake from Goodmanson, the mistake does like create the chance from Goodmanson. Like you don't the only criticism I'd say about that is you don't like control the ball into the path of a
yeah,
striker. Like if you're going to try and take the ball down, like go around the outside where it's not going to cause much danger. But it allowed him to go straight into the middle of the 18, like towards the middle of the 18-yard box for a shot, rather than if he'd have took it around the side, he's got a cross on if Goodmanson
yeah,
loses the ball. But yeah, Strike, I don't like that he just stands off and then just tries to block the shot rather than just put a foot in. Even if he commits a foul from outside the area, just to stop him getting that shot off. It'd be something different from him.
yeah. I think that's probably like I said at the beginning, we're trying to be positive, but when you look at it like that, you're obviously going to nitpick at certain things. But after that, when Tanaka came on, I thought Tanaka changed the game. We were I, it's that, did we have a penalty or not? I mean, some have said yes, it should have been a penalty. Others said it hasn't. Whether or not it was a handball or not, I've not seen the handball back. But Strout fouled. I mean, let us know in the comments if you think it was a penalty or not. Craig, do you think it was or not?
Are you talking about
Right at the
handball?
very end.
That
But
when
it was a bit of both. Because it handballed and then literally 10 seconds later, the crossover, and then Pascal, in my opinion, got fouled.
Pascal got fouled. He stood on his foot, and I mean, he didn't make contact with the ball, but he stood on his foot, and it brought him down. Which, like, I've seen him give. I've seen him being given, and for me, it was more a fact that VAR didn't even check it. Like, they didn't even bring it up as a check
Yeah.
because it would have that would have fell to Pascal. Like he could have got on the end of it. So the fact that it didn't get brought up is the frustrating bit for me. But yeah, Tanaka were fantastic today. Like compared to last week's game, it were night and day.
And that's what we said. We need players that, when they come off the bench, need to stake a claim saying, yes, I need this position. This is going to be my position, not yours. I mean, but wait and see, obviously, international breaks, which I'm not a fan of, but we'll see what happens afterwards for Burnley. I mean, Darlow, mate, do you think he should be? Because I've seen a lot of people saying that he's our number one keeper now, or he should be the number one keeper. First of all, do you think he should be the number one keeper, and how do you think he played today?
I thought he played well today. I don't think he were at fault for the goals because they were deflected away from him. If there were no deflection, I think he had the first one covered definitely. I don't know about the second because I don't know. I couldn't really tell whether he would have shot. He was shooting in that corner
Yeah,
anyway. But the first one, I think he would have saved if it wasn't deflected because the deflection kind of took it over him. Similar
yeah,
to
only slightly.
similar to Rodon last week, where he headed the ball and it flicked off the Bournemouth player, which took it over the keeper's hand. So it were a bit similar to that, but yeah, Dallo didn't do nothing wrong apart from that. And then, but as regards to being number one at the minute, yeah, he's staked his claim. You know, he's got that jersey for now. But I think the good situation we're in is I couldn't say he deserves it 100% over Perry. He's got a fight on. Like it's a good situation to be in. You've got two keepers there, and I mean you've still got Melier there, haven't you? But you've got two keepers there in Darlow and Perry that are going to fight for that number one, which is only going to make both of them a better. Like they've got to pull out good performances. So either could be number one.
Yeah, I don't think you can disregard Darlow to be number one goalkeeper. I think he's done very, very well, especially the last few games. Obviously, unlucky with the 93rd minute goals, which again wasn't his fault. I think he could maybe. I know it was a deflection, and could he have done better in the first goal? Like, it's one of those things where maybe he may know if he could have stretched his arms out long enough or not. The second one, no. I think that was a deflection. It went in. But apart from that, claimed the ball once. I thought his kicking was a little bit off. I know, obviously, the way that Spurs set up, he had to go long. But I mean, overall, I can't fault him majorly. I don't think he's done, in terms of fighting for number one, I don't think he's done himself anything wrong. I just think it's an interesting thing to have, like you said at the start. No one's guaranteed their spot, so who knows what's going to happen towards Burnley now in 2 weeks. I mean, in training we don't see what goes on. Parry could have blinder, Darley could have blinder, and we'll wait and see. But
I
if
think
we go to,
I think for now it's Darlow's shirt to lose.
yeah, that's fair enough. What would you rate him today then out of 10?
Probably give him a solid 7.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. There is one interesting person I do want to talk about because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on him, whether or not he had a good game or not. I thought he had a decent game, and that was Bogle. I've seen people saying that he was poor defensively. His final ball wasn't great. Before I have my say, what did you make of him?
Well, put it this way: without Bogle, we get destroyed on that side.
Yeah, I mean,
In my opinion, Bogle brings so much to this team, attacking and defensively. I thought defensively we were fantastic today, and going forward, it were creating, creating chances, making space for players, and again, fantastic the way that he gets forward. There were part, I think, like when last week when he jumped up to win that header, that Aronson were going to leave to go out, but Bogle jumped up, headed it, and carried on. He did it again
yeah,
today in a different way. He just took the ball at the line, not with an header, but he just smashed the ball at the line and ran. and ran, and it just brings so much energy to that team. It is vital, I think, for it. You could see the difference when Justin played in that position. I know he only come on for a couple of minutes, but he doesn't give you the same outlet as what Bogle does.
I mean, not only did he make the most amount of tackles in the game with 5, Longstaff and Goodmanson behind him with 4 and 3, but there was a part in the first half where I can't remember who it was lost the ball, and had their player got it, they could literally one on with the keeper or could have squared it to another player. He literally just picked up the ball and ran up the wing. I'm like, yeah, this is what you need. Someone that's not afraid to put their foot in, whether or not you're in the penalty area, whether you're not by the corner flag, halfway line, wherever it is, he gets his foot stuck in. He carries the ball well. I mean, it was his cross that set up the goal in the start. Obviously, he crossed it in. Aronson was unlucky, and then Okafor taps it in. So
Yeah,
he does cross the ball in
he,
his final ball.
he gets in. He does in. I mean, it's not always like he does. Sometimes get it wrong in that final ball, but it is. But nobody's perfect, and but at the end of the day, he is. If you looked at him and didn't realise how much we paid for him, you'd think you'd be paying a lot more than £5 million for a player that quality. He is good, and one thing that I look at with a player is like, you know how much I criticise players like Aronson, and I criticise
Always.
players like Nonto a lot, but with Bogle, I don't get nervous when he's got the ball.
No.
I always feel that he's going to do something with it, whether that be defensively or whether it be attacking. I feel like something's going to happen, and he's going to come away with the ball. I don't think he's. I never feel worried that he's going to lose it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think he's good with the ball. So I was going to give him like an 8 today. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah. I was thinking exactly the same. Obviously, he got our 4th highest touch, but most amount of touches on the pitch for us. So he was getting involved. Like you say, even when we went to a back 3 and he was pushing forward, he was. It was. There was a time when he was unmarked, and the ball should have gone for him, but it went the other way. But then they done it later, and Okafor just sprung it to him and literally just touched it down. A bit like Aronson done with how he like touches the ball. And it was just like, yeah, here we go. I think he just unfortunately went out for a throw in afterwards. He got tackled, but yeah, going forward defensively, like I said, I thought he was sound. Thought he was really, really good. But my comment that I put on, I've had a few saying that he was awful when he was poor, but I didn't see that personally. But
I don't see. I don't see it. But like I say, we always say football's a matter of opinion, and if that's their opinion, that's their opinion. But sometimes it's an agenda, sometimes it's not.
yeah, right. What about Rodon next, mate?
What
So
road?
unlucky to score.
I know against his former club as well, it would have been fairy tale if he'd have put that in. But yeah, I thought he was the better today of the centre backs. Like stood out a lot more
Yeah,
than what Stroik did. Because I know there's quite a few games where we mark them both very similar. But he's becoming a standout defender over Stroik this season, and yeah, I probably want to give him maybe a 7.5.
yeah. I literally thought the same. As soon as you started saying that, I was thinking exactly the same. So 7.5 for him. Pascal next, mate. What
I'm
would
gonna,
you rate him?
I'm gonna give Pascal 6.5 for
Okay,
this. I was
I'm
gonna
going
rate
to give him.
I was gonna rate him 6, but I thought I don't want to be too harsh on him because there were points where he did some decent stuff. But yeah, for me today, he looked a little bit out of his depth today. Whether he's had just one of his off games or not, but then again, I can't say that because he does this regular.
Yeah,
Sometimes he gets away with it, and like he'll score or he'll create something like, and it'll get looked over because we've done so well. But yeah, you can see today that his mistakes, in my opinion, his mistakes cost us the goals.
Yeah, I mean, but he marked his man well, kept him quiet, but apart from that, like I said, two errors, or I'm going to say one and a half, because the first goal there was someone else that I felt was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
par with it.
I'm not saying
But
you were at fault for the goals, but he had a big part to play on.
yeah,
Of them being, it could have been different. Like we might not have conceded them. So it's yeah, but when it's up close marking, yeah, that's where he does do his job well,
yeah,
uh, and winning headers, going up for headers and stuff like that. But when it's on the floor, he's terrible. He gets turned way too easy, and when he's being run at, when a defender, an attacker's running at him, he seems to just not know what to do. Or I
stands
think
off
that's
a
a
lot.
weakness. It's a weakness in his game, basically.
Yeah, I'm only going to give him a 6. Right, swiftly moving on to Goodmanson, who has been put down that on who scored that he had the error which led to the goal, which is fair enough. It was an
Yeah.
error, but overall, what did you make of his game today?
Take that error out of it, and I'm giving him an 8. It was fantastic, but I probably have to mark him down to a 7.5 for that because he made that error, which I don't think he makes on another day. Like I think it just poor judgment at that moment in time. But overall, fantastic. Again, like he is such a good left back. He's such a good. He's such a good player. What we've got, attacking, winning the ball. You could say it were a bit out of character the way that when he made that error today. But yeah, it would have for me. It would have got an 8 if it weren't for that.
I mean, before that, I thought he kept Kudus quiet. There was a time when he was literally going out for a corner or something. Kudus and him were fighting for. I think it was Kudus that were fighting for the ball, and somehow he managed to touch the ball and just pass it on and let up towards a counter attack in that sense, or at least keep possession. Um, Turned a player in our own area in the first half. I thought he was really good defensively. Like I said, yes, he made an error, but yeah, I'm also going to go 7.5.
It was fantastic again though. He's so good, and I think Bill is building a brilliant relationship with Okafor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, defensively, definitely an upgrade on Firpo. Going forward, remains to be seen. That's just my opinion. But defensively, so solid. That's something that we don't tend to have in a left back, really, at Leeds. I mean,
Yeah, well, I've said it before. I know that's the best for me. It's probably the best left back since like Ian Hart that we've had.
definitely defensively. Right, let's go on to Statch next, mate. What did you make of him today?
I thought he were a bit hit and miss today. There were moments where he were really good, and then there were moments where he were a bit. His decision making were a bit slow and got caught a couple of times. But then he seems to not realise how much time he hasn't got. He looks like he thinks he's got more time than he has. But then he'll play some fantastic balls and do some fantastic things. He'll win possession. He does a lot of good stuff. But I think for him, I'm not going to be too harsh on him because I thought he had not his best game, but certainly not his worst. And I think he's just. I'll just use it as an excuse for now that I think he's just getting up to speed with the pace of the Premier League. I think once that happens, it'll be phenomenal.
For me, I don't like to say this because I do like him and I think he's a good player. I think he is quite inconsistent in that he will have like a couple not so great games and then all of a sudden he has a blinder of a game and everyone loves him again. Like to an extent, a bit like Tanaka last season where Tanaka had a bad patch, but everyone loves Tanaka, so you could forgive that side of him.
Yeah,
For me, his passing is can be very, very poor. I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
today's pass success rate was 70%, which was our lowest bar Goodmanson and Darlow that started.
Yeah, well, this is what I was saying. Like, when you were saying he's inconsistent with, like, from say he'll go a couple of games where he's not so good, and then in a game where he plays a blinder. I feel he's inconsistent during the games. Like, he'll have 10-15 minutes of being not so good, and then he'll have 10-15 minutes of being really good and then he'll go back to being not good for a bit. And I think, like I said, I think that's because of the pace of the Premier League. He's getting used to it, so he gets caught a lot, and some of his passing is a bit lazy at times. But then he'll 10 minutes later he'll pull off a blinder. Do you know what I mean? It's like I say, like, I agree he's inconsistent, but I think it's more during a game that he's inconsistent. But I'd give him a 7 for today, I think, for me.
No, I'll agree with you on that one. 7. Ampadu next, mate. What do you think of Ampadu?
I think I don't know. Today I thought he played well, but then there were little bits that, again, sometimes he has lapses in concentration, or he tries a bit too much. And it's Ampadu. Without him, we're not as good. That's a fact. And I'd probably give him a 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, yellow card, I thought it was a little bit too soft, but I understand why it was given. But the fact that they said they went to VAR to see if it was a red card was, I think, very harsh. And then their player demanding that he had a red card and was really disappointed. But for me, it looked soft. But I understand you've got your foot studs going over his, which is fine. But apart from that, I thought he was okay. I'll give him a 7 as well.
Yeah.
Right, Longstaff, mate. Let's hear your thoughts.
Is this where we're going to disagree? Because I thought Longstaff were really good again. Not as good as what he were in the last game, or like maybe the game before. Like I said, I think like earlier, it's not his best game that he's had, but I still think he was the better of the trio. He got into good positions to get some shots off. Not the greatest shots in the world, but he got into those positions. He won the ball in good. He like broke up playing good, like in situations, but there were times where and he's been foul of this in previous games, but because he's scored up, because he's done so well overall, he's got away with that being noticed. But it does, like, because he's not the paciest of people, and he does make mistakes. But again today, I thought, you know what, I think we've found our set piece taker, because again, corners fantastic, free kicks fantastic, and I can't. Every player has mistakes, and nobody can play a perfect game like every game. So I thought he was the best of the trio in midfield, and I'd probably give him a 7.5.
Yes, I think I was very harsh earlier when I said I think that he should have taken him off and he was poor. I think I was a bit of an over exaggeration there. Yes, his free kick was beautiful for Rodon, who hit the post. But for me, it was near the end of the game. I just felt that he was quite tired and his passing was really off. Yes, the first goal, I do think that was an error on his part in terms of the touch was poor, but he had a man right on him and stuff like that. So when I digress the game afterwards, I see the clearer picture, if that makes sense.
Well, that tells you a lot. If you see Longstaff is tired towards the end of a game, that means that shows how much running he's done. Because Longstaff runs and runs. He's like a Duracell battery, just keeps going. So if he's tired, obviously that lazy passes come with that. But yeah, that shows he's run a lot.
I mean, yeah, the most amount of shots in the game with 4. Yes, they were a bit wayward, which is fine. I mean, you're taking efforts from long distance. Not everyone's going to score long distance goals. He made the most amount of key passes in the game with 5. He did do a fair few through balls, which were unlucky. I think one of them was DCL, who was unlucky, which we'll touch upon in a minute. So, re-evaluating the game compared to just in the moment bits that I think he should have done better there, or why has he done that? I think I was very harsh earlier, but yeah, I'm going to
Mate,
give him.
when you said that, I was going. I just stopped. I didn't want to say anything, but when you said that, my initial thought, are you watching the same game as me? Because Longstaff is probably one of the better players on the pitch for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7.5
Right.
as well. Right, Aronson, who, to be fair, mate, turned Romero, got a free kick. He looked lively, taking on their left back. What did you make of him?
Until it
Because obviously,
until it rained, until it started raining. No, yeah, it were lively, it were good, it were all right, and I thought, he's keeping him busy and hassling like he always does, and he weren't doing too bad. And I'm prepared. I've given him a 7. I thought he did well. It's just in that second half, he
yeah,
it was the problem for Aronson, and like I keep always saying, he just loses the ball way too easy, and
no, he does, and we've had this so many times last
yeah,
season.
and,
Well,
he's not strong enough in situations. There were a point towards, like, I don't know how long we're left, but it's just there were situations he did so well. Like, it's like, brilliant, Aronson. You're doing what I want you to do. You've done so well. You got your body in front of their attacker to get in, but then the attacker still got the ball. Like, how we got
yeah,
around Aronson, because Aronson just dropped and allowed the attacker to carry on after doing all the hard work, getting his body in between the attacker and the ball. And instead of just clearing the ball, he's tried to shield it, and then the attacker just gone around him, and he fell to the floor. And I'm like, here we go again.
yeah. I thought again, we all know that he is lightweight in that sense that he does get tackled rather easy and dispossessed. I thought first half in particular, he looked lively, he looked like he was wanting it, like he always does. His energy, Duracell battery, which again spoken about so many times with him. But yeah, I think 7. I'll go for 7 as well. I think he's like you
This,
said, second half it was
yeah, and
hit and miss.
after thinking about some of the situations, like in the first half, even, I'm just, I think what his problem is, he gets too excited when he's got the ball as well. Like, and there's not an easy,
Yeah,
and it's not just an easy layoff to someone else, just an easy pass. If there's no one around, I think he gets a bit excited. Like, there was one point where he went into the middle, and I'm like, why don't you just pass the ball? Just pass the ball. And he did this, like put his foot around, like to try and fake a pass. Like, he put his foot around the ball, and I'm like, what size ball do you think you're playing with? Because he sounded like he put his foot around as though it were a boulder.
yeah. I mean, he does overplay
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. And this is
And
this is my criticism with him. And if he just plays it simple, he can look a lot better player.
I think for me personally, I've said it. I think it was last season that he would suit. I know he was playing more of a 10 role. If he dropped deeper into a box to box role, I think that would probably suit his game
Well,
in terms of his
yeah,
energy.
that's why I
But
compared him with Longstaff last week. Is because he's that to me is that type of player that he's got the energy to run up and down, run up and down. He's not got the technical ability to have, run one on one versus, like, to
yeah,
someone on or do anything. But to do what Longstaff does, I think that's what could mould him into a better player. Yeah, I think he is like a number 8.
yeah, I agree with you. Right, Okafor, mate, got the goal, which obviously wasn't good enough. But what did you rate him? When I say not good enough, I mean as in terms of the result.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Mate, I'm giving him an 8.5 today. He's when
yeah,
I said earlier that there's players that you can see are just progressing every game. He is one that's just get better and better and you're seeing more from him. Like those glimpses we saw earlier, like in previous games, it's just getting more and more often that we're seeing that. And this game, I mean, he had their defenders on toast all the time.
Yeah.
Like every time he ran at him, it looked like he were going to make something happen. Sometimes he made an heavy touch, sometimes he did. But that's what you do when you're taking those risks to try and get past players. And he was making some damage. I was very, very surprised that he took him off.
I mean, I understand why he's taken him off, just due to the amount of minutes that he's played over the last couple of seasons. So building up his match fitness, I get that, but it's frustrating when he comes off and he's playing well. He had their left back Porro literally on edge, basically. Every time he had the ball, he was trying to dribble right. Am I going to go straight at you? Am I going to go left of you? Am I going to go right of you? Am I just going to cut inside for a change?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what you don't. And I don't mind players that take this risk of dribbling at players. Yes, you may only pull it off 5 out of 10 times, but those 5 times you could create a chance. You could have that opportunity. You could have a shot, even. So I'm enjoying it. And like I said when we first signed him, this is what he's going to bring. And yeah, I'm also going to go for an 8.5 as well.
And he made a lovely cross that I think Calvert-Lewin just skimmed off the top of it, like just over his head, and Calvert-Lewin acknowledged him for the cross because he knew that he was just a whisker away from connecting with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been brilliant, and I think the frustration for me with taking him off is like I understand why, but the frustration is it was the best chance of us getting anything. If we were going to get another goal out of that game, it was the best chance of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, you just mentioned the last starter, DCL, mate, so let's kick it off. Let's have your say on him.
It's hard to say this because he's reminding me so much of Bamford. Like he's doing all the hard work, in better than Bamford, obviously, but he's doing all the hard work that Bamford used to do, the running, the hassling defenders. But what the extra part that he brings is he wins the ball in the air and he holds it up. He does some good layoff play, linking up, but his finishing is just that needs to come. He needs to get that finishing sorted out because if he people say, and I know that he has got that in his locker, but so did Bamford, and Bamford went for games and games and games. Whether it's a confidence thing, I don't know, but his shooting just doesn't seem right. The way that he it's like he snatches it to try, like as though he's trying too hard instead of just being letting it naturally come to him. But yeah, it's harsh to say, and I don't mean it in a negative or a harsh way, but the last couple, like especially the last 2 games, his finishing has cost us 3 points because if he puts in the terms of it's not him that's lost us the games, but if he puts his chances away, we win both games.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had a hat trick, was it, against Fulham, and we lost that game.
Yeah.
Last game, yes, they conceded in the last minute, but had he scored the 2 chances that he had, I think it was the 2 clear-cut chances he had then. Time today when he turned their defender, span shot, and it was saved. I mean, it was good save, I'll give him that. But he's getting in these right positions, and yes, I know that I didn't give Bamford that credit when he got in those chances because of the misses he made. But for me, it was the fact that they weren't on target all the time, whereas Dominic's kind of are. But
It's bringing you deja vu, though. That's the problem.
I know, and yes, I was singing his praises the other day, and now it's like just put the ball in the net. And I think when he does put the ball in the net, I think it's going to come, or at least I hope it's going to come.
Yeah, I'm going to say I hope because he did score against Wolves, didn't he? And then it was like right, okay, he's gonna find his form, but yeah, then the next game he struggled. He had clear cut chances that he didn't put away, and again today, some more good chances that he didn't put away. So it's I think what we need to do is use his strength, and that's in the air. Get crosses in the
Yeah,
box. We need to get proper crosses in the box that are, where he can attack them rather than low crosses. But yeah, apart from his finishing, his overall game though today 7.5.
mate, I thought exactly the same then. So, yeah, 7.5. Right, let's quickly go through the subs. I mean, Harrison and Tanaka came on 67th minute. Tanaka, I thought, did really, really well.
Yeah,
Aaron Harrison is one of those hit and miss players. I don't think he did too much wrong, but at the same time, I don't think he did too much.
no, I thought they were
So,
all right. I thought they were both pretty good. They were both all right today. I don't mind as well when he started off on that right hand side. I don't mind him being on that right hand side.
yeah. What would you rate them, mate?
Um, Probably give them both solid sevens. They were better than a 6.
I only give Tanaka a 7 and Harrison 6.5. Just because I thought Tanaka was better than
Yeah,
Harrison when
that's
he
fair.
came.
I'll probably agree with you on it. Yeah,
That's why I only thought is because
yeah,
they both.
yeah.
And then Metcha and Piro came on. I mean, Piro,
Oh, he could have
what
got
a
his first
save.
Premier League goal, man, and it was just begging to be put in, weren't it?
What a, all I'm going to say is what a save.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's all you can say. I mean, 9 times out of 10 that goes in the back of the net, and
what would you rate them both, mate?
well, I thought Pro were better than Metcha, so I'll probably give Pro a 7 and Metcha a 6.5, just like we did with the other two.
That's fine, I'll agree. James Justin, mate?
Not on the pitch long enough, I don't think, but
No, I'll agree.
he's got big
If
shoes to
anything,
fill in. He's got big shoes to fill in taking Bogle. Impressing over Bogle. So
yeah, and again, like I said, no place is guaranteed, but Bogle and Goodmanson, unless somebody's going to challenge them and actually step up, I think them two maybe the only ones. Obviously, you've got Rodon and Pascal, but
I think
I
Rodon.
honestly,
I think Rodon's nailed on. You've got probably a few players that are, yeah, like I said that nobody's guaranteed the place, which is true. Nobody is. Like anything can happen. James Justin can come on and suddenly be like world class, but that, you know what I mean? It can
yeah,
happen. So nobody is guaranteed, but you can see kind of the players that are probably set in stone is going to be Bogle, Goodmanson, Rodon. Ampadu is going to be there because Fark just loves him.
and
So
he's the captain. But
yeah, so yeah,
right, we will leave it there. But we have been nominated, which I did forget last time until I stopped recording. We've been nominated for Best in Social Creators, Best in Podcast in the Football League, and Best in Video. So if you could vote for us, that would massively help. I'm probably definitely not going to win the socials and videos, but maybe podcasts if you want to vote for us, that would definitely help. Craig, is there anything that you'd like to add before we finish?
the referee's shite.
There you have it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whatever the buttons you can do. 5-star ratings definitely help us out. And leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, guys. And we will see you for the Burnley game. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
Indeed.